Hello and welcome. It's match 2 of the Hero Champions Trophy 2014. We are at Kalinga Stadium in Bhubaneswar and we are looking at what should be a very interesting fixture between Belgium and Pakistan. Both of these teams belonging to Pool A. Pool A had their first match, which was the first match, in fact, of this Champions Trophy. A thrilling encounter in which England, in the end, prevailing in an Ashes clash, so to speak, against Australia. So this will be a fascinating fixture as well. Belgium, one of the rising powers of world hockey, and making their second appearance only in the Champions Trophy. Also played the 2012 edition in Melbourne, and on that occasion they did face Pakistan, and they lost 2-0 on that occasion. Pakistan, of course, have been 3 times champions before. Belgium all in black, and Pakistan in a very interesting new color in international hockey. Their away colors, I suppose, of yellow. As always, the first order of proceedings will be the national anthems, and we'll begin, of course, with the designated home side for this fixture, which is Belgium, after which we'll also have the Pakistan national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get underway with our next match between Belgium and Pakistan, we'll have a moment's silence for the Queen Mother Fabiola of Belgium, who sadly passed away last night. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your appreciation. That moment of silence for the Queen Mother Fabiola of Belgium, who sadly passed away last night. Please be upstanding first of all for the national anthem of Belgium.
A somber moment just before the anthems, a minute's silence to just mark the passing away of the Queen Mother of Belgium. A very sad event from last night, but they'll be inspired to come up with a good performance today, that's for sure. This is a team which, as mentioned, has been making rapid strides in hockey and that has been shown in some of the results in international competitions. Not least of all, both these teams were part of the FIH Junior Hockey World Cup, which was held in New Delhi, India last December. This is the Belgium lineup for today. The starting lineup: Vincent van Aschen goal, Arthur van Doren. Watch out for their captain, John Doman, very, very dynamic man in midfield. Bokard Stockbrooks, who was also a member of that Junior Hockey World Cup squad. Brails, Denaya, Gougnard, Dupaye and Cousins make up their starting lineup. Substitutes: Gukosev and Dorian Thierry, who was a striker in that junior squad as well. Jeroen Delmy, top-class player in his own time. From the Netherlands, of course, who's come on in place of Mark Lammers since Lammers' exit as coach of Belgium. Now, this is the Pakistan lineup for today. They have a few youngsters as well. 5 players from the starting lineup who also were part of the Junior Hockey World Cup back in 2013. The likes of Mohammad Dilbar, who's an excellent performer down the right wing. They've also got Mohammad Irfan, their captain, very, very experienced player, Mohammad Imran, and Shafqat Rasool as well, who's scored a few important goals in international competitions. Mohammad Tawseek and Ahmad Shakil Butt, as well as Mohammad Umar Bhutta, who was captain of their junior squad in the Junior Hockey World Cup. Another legend in his own lifetime, Sheikh Shahnaz, who was a forward, played between 1969 and 1978, and was part of the team which won the first Champions Trophy, which incidentally was held on Pakistani soil in 1978 in Lahore. It's a rather hot and slightly humid afternoon, not much of a breeze around as well to help the players or the officials. Andrew Kennedy of England, who is the umpire closer to where we are sitting, and away from us, the other umpire from Spain, Paco Vasquez. It's Belgium who will push things back, and they'll be playing from left to right on your screens as you watch. They are playing, of course, in black, and up against them in yellow, Pakistan from right to left. A very, very good afternoon and a good day wherever you're watching. I'm Debayan Sen, and joining me alongside me in the commentary box for this one is former GBR goalkeeper and Olympian Simon Mason. Simon, should be an interesting clash of two cultures as well. The Asian style of hockey up against a rapidly improving European team.
Yeah, I'd agree that in the past there could be a cultural clash, but this Belgian team really like to play fast, attractive counter-attack hockey, very similar to Pakistan. So we could see that being a reasonably well-contested but quick midfield battle. Who breaks away from that the quickest?
Belgium, of course, have been rapidly improving in the rankings as well, and that has been borne out in some of their recent performances. Pakistan at 11th, Belgium currently ranked 4th, the Red Lions. And with the early momentum, or so it would seem, looking to make early inroads if they can. We saw in the previous match how England scored an early goal, and that served them in good stead.
Yeah, I think more importantly will be the experience and momentum that Pakistan bring into this tournament from the last 12 months. They haven't played a massive number of international fixtures, unlike some of the European teams who play each other on a regular basis. Consequently, what are they bringing into this competition in terms of understanding small pattern play and tactics compared to a team that play and train together on a really regular basis?
Back in defense, Stockbrooks getting some support from Van Doren. Back with Stockbrooks. Sends a long ball through, which goes through the legs of Rizwan Senior. This is the first opportunity perhaps for Belgium, but well defended, just in the nick of time, getting a stick down and making sure that there was no danger.
That's a great take in the heart of your own circle under pressure. Gougnard has stepped inside with a little flipped ball down the midfield channel and played it into the circle beautifully. In the end, it was just taken away by Butt.
It's very crowded around the Pakistan circle, and that could prove to be dangerous. They'll be well advised to try and get rid of the ball as much as possible from there. And it looks quite obvious from the early initiative that Belgium are looking for an early goal. This has been swept in, and a deflection as well. Whose stick did it come off in the end? It goes out of play in favor of Pakistan.
Well, Belgium were appealing in the circle, looking at umpire Andrew Kennedy. We see here ball slapped in straight down the middle. There is a slight touch from a foot. Neither umpire saw it though, and Belgium not going to video referral.
Just to remind you once again about the change in format, this is the first major FIH event to be played with the new format of 4 quarters of 15 minutes each. So effective playing time has been reduced to 60 minutes, but no visible impact on the teams. If anything, the first match perhaps suggesting that teams can come back, as Australia almost did.
Yeah, and we've seen from the Women's Champions Trophy as well, where this format has also been played, that it just gives the chance to break. It possibly disrupts momentum if a team really is on the front foot, but it means you can keep that higher intensity. There's no visible negative impact at all, and some of these innovations on time and scheduling really move the game forward another step.
Well, make no mistake, this is an exacting tournament, because to win it, potentially you have to play 6 matches, and you have to do it within 8 days. So energy conservation as important as anything else. Now looking for the first attack for Pakistan. They have a few shots in there and looking for one of their balls to get through, but Shafqat Rasool unable to get across to it.
Tusik tried to just pump that ball into the heart of the circle, and Belgium were caught out a little bit with a little poor shape. They were fragmented. There wasn't 2 lines of defence, just one.
All the way back in defence, where Rashid Mahmood has the ball. This has been slipped through, but not able to make much of it, even though they have a free hit here. Looking to slap this one through. It does get a touch. It will be a long corner.
The crowd loving that it's thudded into the sideboards, but everybody else, Paco is quite happy to get his arms outstretched for a 16, no touches in the circle.
Has to be said though, right from the first match here, this FIH Champions Trophy 2014, excellent crowds, and we are expecting it only to build up as the day progresses. Remember, India, the home team, play the last match of the day against Germany.
Belgium quite happy now to step up into a very, very high press. All of a sudden, Mohamed Imran having absolutely no outball. And it's where Belgium can now recycle and find the heart of the circle.
That was the attempt there, sending that ball in, Thierry.
Well, Belgium will definitely be looking for penalty corners. Have probably got one of the best selections of players for penalty corner barrages consistently in the world at this moment in time. Other teams may have better individuals, but with Lupert and Bone and Cossins, all of whom can score goals on a regular basis, it makes defending a real challenge.
Yes, and the second name that you mentioned, Boone, was right in the center of the D, looking for that opportunistic chance to have a snap at goal, and if he gets that, then you can bet your bottom dollar that it will be a difficult task to deal with for the goalkeeper of the Pakistan team, Imran Butt.
Yeah, he'll struggle because he probably won't have seen a player accelerate the ball as well as Bone does. When a drag flick is flicked, the player picks the ball up and then moves the stick across the body to accelerate it. Bone does that better than just about anybody in the world and generates an extra 10k of ball speed, so it makes it really tough. That's the man himself, who one of the world's best when it comes to scoring from the top of the D on penalty corners.
Frightening to imagine, 164 caps before this and just 24 years of age, so only going to get better with time. Now this is a good long ball. It's been well received as well. Pakistan defense this time deals with it. Ugly but effective.
What a takedown from the slap. Slap wasn't clean off the top of the circle, and Bone outstretched one hand, metre off the turf, picks it, but then falls over. Pitch with the amount of water on it right at the start of this game, probably just a little bit slippery. Bone there as he turns. It's just that traction as you turn away when your foot isn't in the same plane as your acceleration. Very small grip points on those pimple shoes, and foot just slides away from underneath you.
This is Rashid. He's got a chance to move ahead with some space on the left flank. Passing it through. Oh, attempted cross, but just didn't get any control over it.
Quite often the case. Ali Shah goes down that left-hand side. When players try and turn this, when they're accelerating, it's really hard to get the hands at the right height. And if you get the hands too low, the stick slides under the ball and lifts it. He actually hit that with the toe of his stick as it's come through and across to nothing.
A slightly nervy start by Pakistan, but we know about their pedigree. It's a young team, but there's a few players with lots and lots of experience, and if they have a good day out there, then they could make things difficult for Belgium. But as things stand, this is another attack coming in from the Red Devils.
My only concern for Pakistan would be their conditioning over the course of this tournament. They're not a particularly well-funded squad. There's some governing body issues back at home in terms of how much they can train, where they can travel, the competitions they can play in. And that suggests that their physical conditioning isn't going to be at the same level as some of the other sides that are here. And that may have no impact today. They may get through these 4 quarters, but you say 6 games in 8 days, all of a sudden, when they get to the latter rounds, we may find some heavy legs. What a great turn. That's a super bit of play.
Depau with the ball, and he almost made his way all the way through.
Well, you have to suggest, however, that Depau, as he's put that on the reverse, watch his hand pulling the defender back there. That contact suggests he would have been blown.
Van Doren looking for Thierry down the right flank, but it does go out instead for Pakistan. Here's Ali Shan once again. Can he make the better of this one? It's a good ball through, and he's working his way through, somehow stumbling his way all the way inside, but just couldn't make the most of it. Mohammad Waqas.
Waqas, it wasn't pretty, was it, as he burst forwards, but it was effective. Shoulder to shoulder, using his size, just leaning into the area he wanted to run into.
The feature that's always talked about Pakistanis in any sport, Simon, is that they are very street smart. Never mind their level of experience. That could be something of an advantage for them, considering that they've not made the best of starts in terms of fluidity. But remember, look at the scoreline. It's still 0-0, and we're already 10 minutes into the game.
Well, it's going to be their one-on-one skills that will really come to the fore. If Belgium lose any of their tactical shape or nous, Pakistan have absolutely every ability and opportunity to pick a ball up, drive through space, tiny, small 2- and 3-man interchanges to create dangerous opportunities. But I just feel that Belgium may have a little bit more structure to deny that.
This is a chance, and it's the first goal.
That's a brilliant goal.
Indeed it is. It was well walked right from the left flank, and just for a moment the Pakistan defence had gone to sleep. Cousins made full toll of it, and Belgium are in front as early as the 11th minute.
All started because Gunnar gets his feet round to deliver that. It's a nasty bobbling ball. Umpire Kennedy does brilliantly to allow play to go on, because while it was high, it wasn't dangerous. It's come down, great ball across, and Cousins knowing exactly what he needs to do. Absolutely nothing the goalkeeper but can do on his near post as it bobbles across.
It's a perfect start here for Belgium. Young man just playing his 39th match in Belgium colours. 23-year-old gets the first goal in this game. And just into 10 minutes, Belgium with a 1-0 lead.
Pakistan again down the left-hand flank, going to the backhand to create the cross. But it just makes it so difficult to even not only execute the skill, but to get a clean hit away, because the defenders are on the forehand all the time. And this, Devine, is what we talked about earlier on. You said about Pakistan having that counter-attack potential. Belgium were defending in numbers, Pakistan pressing up out of their own zone. And all of a sudden, Belgium can come away with a 2- or 3-man wave to create some space down either flank.
Another lovely through ball, and it's a chance for the goal scorer to this time turn to a wider, sends the ball in, and there's no deflection along the way. As always, some of the fans will be cheered by it, but no damage done.
Brave goalkeeper. It's a beautiful, just weighted hit, but that's got brave from him about as he left that ball. If it hit his near post, that would have bounced back into play and missed by a matter of inches.
Once again, the Pakistan defence just caught out a little bit by the high ball. The first touch just a little heavy. Had he brought that under control, that could have been the second goal.
Look how Gunnar takes this down, first time from above his shoulder to play it in exactly the direction he wanted to go. It was his second touch that was heavy, but the first touch, great vision and awareness, really difficult skill to execute.
Just been devoid of much fluidity this first quarter, but surely both coaches will have a look at what have gone wrong for the respective sides. But Belgium much more satisfied, one would imagine, with what has transpired in these first 12 minutes.
Well, Pakistan quite happy to step out and press at this moment in time. Belgium going to the air over the top of that press. What Pakistan need to do is make sure that their fullbacks have got the same pace as the Belgian forwards, because if they don't, the lines that they're running, they're going to get unpicked, because Belgian midfield have got great passing awareness into the circle.
Nearly a beautiful bit of skills there from Brils, but what he has done is won a free hit. Still possession for the Belgians, so they have lorded over Pakistan for most of this first quarter and still controlling the pace of the game. Dupai sending a long ball in. John Doman, the captain, has possession, almost sneaking through, did get a touch on, and that will still be possession for Belgium in a very dangerous position.
Oh, Syed Shah, if he hadn't got that jab tackle in, there was 2-on-1 into the heart of the Pakistan circle. But Pakistan press now, it's very, very individual. We see there Mohammad Dilbar just having to step out, but he's doing a lot of running all on his own. Pakistan backline, 6 men back within 30 metres of their own goal. Out of shot now, but there's a real split between the midfield and the forwards in terms of defensive duties.
The only goal in this game thus far coming from that man, Cousins.
Oh, we see on the replay, it was all about Gunnar getting his feet round the ball. If you compare that to Pakistan going down the left wing and crashing balls in on the reverse, Gunnar's picked that up, driven round the last defender, got his feet round it and thrown it across the circle to create the chance.
Rizwan Junior just unable to make the most of it, but still has possession here for Pakistan as we drive in towards the last minute of this first quarter. 4 quarters of 15 minutes apiece. Pakistan 3 times champions of the Champions Trophy, but not since 1994, so it's been a long, long wait. Can they break their duck here?
Well, these are the areas where Pakistan are now dangerous and Belgium have to worry. If Pakistan can get the ball into the attacking 25-yard zone, all of a sudden they've got the individual skills to really cause problems. Belgium may have tactical superiority and possession, but if they allow these men in yellow a single sniff to move the ball and accelerate left to right and break through space, suddenly they could find themselves on the receiving end of a goal from the Pakistanis.
The last attempted crash in was from Dilbar. Did take a touch off a Belgian stick, and that's why there's another long corner in place. But this is an opportunity for a counter-attack, and it could be quite dangerous, but just comes off the body. And that one was just too long, but counting down towards the end of this first quarter, which has been quite decisively dominated, Simon, by Belgium.
Yeah, they have. In terms of possession, they've certainly had the lion's share, and it led to that one goal.
Yes, at the end of the first quarter, it's Belgium 1, Pakistan 0. First quarter where Belgium were quite more fluent of the two teams, but Pakistan will definitely look for some answers and look to get a little bit more combination going at the end of this first quarter. Perhaps particularly going up front. As we noticed in the first 15 minutes, they had a few opportunities of getting balls in good positions, but couldn't make the most of it, and that's where the midfield might have to step up to the game a little bit more. Hot and humid conditions in Bhubaneswar. Here at the Kalinga Stadium, a very recently built stadium. 2010 was when it was founded, and since then, of course, it has seen some Hockey India League matches. And that is exactly what the coach Shikshanaz must be just telling them. Lots of experience on the bench, and unfortunately they cannot come down to the pitch and play for them, but they can pass on a few nuggets of useful information. So Simon, what has Pakistan got to do from here?
Well, you'd suggest that Pakistan's strengths are up front and looking at that one-on-one interaction with the defenders, so they have to make a decision how they're going to get the ball to the forwards. Throwing away possession with long overheads and crash ball is really not going to help them. They need to bring it through an identified channel. If they perceive their right side is stronger, that's where they need to go. Play through a consistent area to get outcomes and experiment, and then review that over the course of the match.
What will also be a challenge for the Pakistanis, as Simon absolutely correctly pointed out right at the start of the game, not too much of big match experience for these players, and that's why not a lot of bench strength to rely upon. It's mostly the players out there who will have to make things happen. Comparatively, Belgium with a lot more depth in their bench.
Yeah, and that's just because they play so many more competitions around the world at a higher level, so that's what they'll be looking to draw upon, and Pakistan may struggle.
Pushing back for the second quarter once again, Belgium still with possession. Stockbrooks onto Van Doren, a very, very good partnership that we have seen in the past for Belgium in the youth squad as well. This is Gounia, this time down the right.
What a tackle. That's a superb reach tackle from Abbas. Gunnar was in, but somehow Abbas has got his stick around Gunnar's body and nicked it off the end of his toes.
Abbas, another one of those players who came down with the junior hockey squad to Delhi last December. Now this is looking promising from Pakistan's perspective. Did it come off a foot? Indeed it did. And this will be a chance now to drive this advantage home.
Well, if that ball had been in front of Tusik as he was attacking, this is a real Pakistani overload down the right-hand side.
Oh, as it is, it's still with them, and it was a slightly messy situation in the end, but the Belgian defense standing firm in the end.
Yeah, so got a backhand into the front of the goalkeeper, and all of a sudden Van Asch was in trouble. But here we see that is an outstanding tackle. Gunnar was in.
Indeed, also the position of it just at the edge of the D, had to time it to perfection, and that's exactly what he did.
Well, more importantly, as you go one-on-one as a defender, as you're reaching with the left hand, the tendency to keep your balance is to put the right hand on the back of the player that you're trying to tackle. Very easy then to give away penalty corners and cards.
Possession back again for Pakistan. It's looking impressive for them. Mohammad Arsalan Kadir there with the ball, but just cannot make the most of it. Again, some good scrambling defending from the Belgians.
And Leupart having to keep his balance there as the ball's dribbled along the baseline. Leupart with the first jab, and then all of a sudden the ball carried out by Dorian Thierry.
Good long ball, almost collected by Doman. Does get a free hit for his team.
And there, his green shoes in the middle of the pitch is going to be one of the key players for Belgium, controlling that central midfield area. Deceptively quick on the ball, and now as he leads looking for that pass, creates space in the midfield. All of a sudden for Arthur Van Doren to come forwards.
Beautiful bit of skill from Thierry. Almost a blind-sided pass, and it's found its way into the D. Could be a shooting opportunity, but in the end, it's the Pakistan defense who get the ball away.
Shakil Butt again, that's a second tackle in the heart of his own circle.
Better pace about the second quarter as well, and it must be said, Pakistan also looking a little bit more fluent than they did in the first 15 minutes. And they translate that into a goal, of course. Their 30th appearance at the Champions Trophy, a tournament which was originated in Pakistan in many respects.
It's because they've stepped out with a press, and we saw the coach during that quarter-time break suggest playing longer ball and being more expansive. Now, that's twice with the same kind of cross that we've seen coming in from Cousins. It's a half hit, lines up for a really powerful crash ball across the circle, and then just with soft hands, drops the hands down the stick, takes some of the pace off the ball to make sure of the accuracy and how flat it travels.
Just 18 years of age, Ahmad Shakil Butt with into his 29th match in the Pakistan shirt. The green shirts as they're called, but they're playing in yellow today. Here they come around the right flank. winning possession yet again. Can they make the most of this now? Driven all the way back, looking for a scoop, and it's been missed by the defender. There was a chance there if he'd got it under control, just couldn't.
And that's a clever bit of forward play as the overhead goes up. Forward leads behind the defender, anticipating that the ball is going to be missed. It wasn't, in fact, Van Doornen who was in the shot there who missed it, but as it went over the top, a top edge just bobbling through. A missed opportunity for Pakistan.
And an important interception made in defence by the captain, Mohammad Imran. Looking to build on a counter-attack of sorts. Tangle of sticks, but in the end a free hit for Pakistan. No penalty corners as yet in this match. Suggestive perhaps of good disciplined defending.
Yeah, and in this second quarter, no real open opportunities. The ball's not getting into the circle that often. Consequently, if we go into the corners, we've seen now this slip. Sometimes in the corners of the pitch, it's a little bit slippy and means that players are struggling to turn. It means that accelerating into the circle with good possession is slightly tougher.
Possession not surprisingly more with Belgium. Also the circle penetrations are the most important statistic, though, of course, the 1-0 as a result of that successful shot from Belgium.
Yeah, I think it's only because Pakistan have handled the ball much better in this second quarter. If we'd seen the stat at the end of the first quarter, I think you'd have seen hugely in favour of the Belgians because they carried the ball better and held it higher. But now Pakistan just starting to grow in confidence. As we suggested at the start, the lack of international exposure over the last few months possibly giving the Belgians an edge, but now they're starting to grow into this game.
Another slip up quite literally from Mohammad Umar Bhatta, and that has given this opportunity for Belgium to build on it, but back with possession for the Pakistanis. Down the right flank, it's back to Bhatta. Got some players up front, but sent out by Bokar. The condition of the turf, of course, has seen a few players slip, but it must be remembered that there are 2 more games to go, and by the time evening sets in, there should be some dew on the pitch besides the regular watering, which should speed things up and make things a little bit better. Hopefully, we'll have to wait and watch for that. At the moment in this game, it is Belgium leading Pool A fixture of the 2014 Men's Hockey Champions Trophy, the Hero Champions Trophy being played at the Bhubaneswar's Kalinga Stadium.
What differentiates these players from your average player is the pre-scanning, how much they look. So as a player has the ball, they're looking in advance, obviously.
It's a good ball, and it's been picked up by Tom Bone. He's done exceedingly well, but in the end, a desperate bit of goalkeeping that allows Pakistan to get away with it. Imran Butt stepping up.
Yeah, and Irfan in front of his goalkeeper, but it was that long crash ball through. It wasn't hit particularly cleanly. All of a sudden, Bone was in the circle with a chance. Irfan able just to jab the ball away from him.
And it's the ability of a good forward to suddenly come into the picture when least expected.
Well, look, it's the awareness. That's not a deliberate crash ball, but it gets a bottom edge on the way through midfield. Bone now gets his feet round, so he's driving in the right place, and Irfan able to make the challenge.
Lots and lots of defending done by Pakistan in this first half. They've also looked quite potentially dangerous when attacking, but they just need to get that little bit more momentum and a little bit more coordination between their midfielders and their forwards. Yet again, ball through looking for Ali Shan, but he overran that ball effectively.
Yeah, and then Bilbao without enough pace to run through, and you're absolutely right, Divine. It's that link play. If you're going from midfield to forwards, it's not just line 1 and line 2, it's then what is going on in line 3. So a moment ago we saw Tom Bone leading, even though he was the 4th player in a line from where the ball was being hit, and he's led there in anticipation of what's going to happen. So going back to what I said a moment ago about lessons that players can learn, it's you're not only running for yourself, you're actually running for other people. You're running in anticipation of, if my teammate gets the ball, where am I to then help him? Second phase, third phase play.
A good example of that here, because Belgium managed to retrieve the ball after having lost it while moving forward, and still with them, Depot. All the way back to Van Stradonk. Now moving forward again, Denayer. With the Belgians taking their time. They have the advantage, remember, 1-0 in this game. Acres of space down the left.
That's a hit to nothing in anybody's book. Denayer had done all the hard work. Belmay will not be happy with a turnover of possession that easily. Once isn't a problem, but if it was consistent, there is no need for Belgium to crash ball in from distance.
Back in defense, Kashif. Does find one of his own men. It is Bhutta who's moving forward.
Well, Pakistan fortunate to get out of there without any problems, because the initial run from defence by the fullback, he just tried to play the ball through the feet of the player in front of him. Very nearly gave away possession, as Belgium have now.
This is looking promising. Zohaib Ashraf just working his way through. Oh, just at the edge of the D.
That's a dive that befits the Premier League of football. That ball is so far away. It may have taken such great initial cut through. Chucks the ball out there. There is contact, but that ball we can't see from that angle, but has got to be 5 yards away from him. There is contact, but that... The judge is scoring at 10 for artistic impression.
Belgium does need to be careful. That was an example of where if you give the ball away, then Pakistan can be quite dangerous. They have those players with explosive speed.
Well, for anybody who watched the earlier game, Australia put themselves into trouble when they tried to pass the ball through the England players they were playing against. Exactly the same situation there. If as a ball carrier you engage your opposite number, you just give them a chance of a lucky touch. Ideally, yes, of course you want elimination, but you would pass a ball around a static player, not through them.
This was again absolutely smashed through by Rizwan Jr. And did get a deflection, because of which there was a free hit. This time a long ball, but not collected quite cleanly by Umar Bhutta. So in the second quarter, Pakistan showing a lot more positivity, but the real genuine chance, if one can call it that, falling to Belgium's trombone.
Great deflected ball through to Bone. Super awareness. Now he can carry on the forehand.
And we finally get the first penalty corner of this match. It's come very, very late in the day, but it's come to the only team which has perhaps looked a little bit more dangerous when moving forward, the Belgians. And this could now be a chance to make it 2-0.
Well, that's the tackle that gives away the corner. Andrew Kennedy seeing if there's a definite outcome. He blew it as the defender gets a touch, which I think is the right call. He couldn't tell that the bobbly second, third phase pass was going to fall to Belgium. As soon as the defender picks that, Kennedy perceiving that there's no advantage, and so blowing the whistle, arms up.
And the man who came up with that bit of skill was Tom Boone, and he's also the man who is one of the batteries for this. He's got Lupaye alongside him, so two top quality finishers who will go for this for Belgium. It goes for Boone. It's a good shot as well, but well saved.
Imran Buttongull made that look like he didn't even reach for it. Bones flicked that high to the goalkeeper's right, who has got a touch. We'll see on the replay. That's a great save. But it'll be interesting to see where the defensive lines are, because with that lack of movement from the keeper, it suggests that he is standing to his right to start with.
He's not only made it look simple, but also had a little fist pump at the end, just to suggest that he's really pumped for this one. Now, this was another opportunity for Pakistan to move forward, but it was Belgium who had the better chance just a while ago. Rizwan.
Oh, now that's a chance that's gone begging. That's the first execution down the left-hand side of a reverse stick. Rizwan Senior here drives it across. That goes through two Belgian sticks. I'm not sure it was seen on the back post. But Van Asch, if there'd been a touch in front of him, he would have had no chance. The goal was gaping.
It's Kadir who began the game on the bench, but since he's come on, he's showed a little bit of pace and movement near the D and can be a constant threat. Had he just got a flick on, then this would have been honours even. Very close to the end of the second quarter. Irfan onto Rizwan Jr. Once again, it is Pakistan, but the ball through is not all that effective.
Yeah, it took a little deflection on the way, which is why it's gone for a long corner. Vaca spotting it as it came off the heel. The Belgian midfielder who tracked back in defence, but Pakistan now need a bit more urgency. They're going to have to move the ball laterally and then go long, and that's not a clean hit.
Possession back with the Asians. Here they come. It's Pakistan who are on the attack, but they've given the ball away. Is there enough time here for a second goal for Belgium or an opportunity to create that? Tom Bone won't die wondering, that's for sure. Slapping this ball through, but cannot find any luck. And that pretty much marks the end of the second quarter. It has been a half which has been dominated for large parts by Belgium, but the second quarter was a lot better from Pakistan, showing a little bit more pace about themselves. Towards the end, there could have been an opportunity for Tom Bone, an excellent penalty corner attempted, but great save by Imran Butt of Pakistan. So at the moment, the game still hasn't chased all the way away from the Pakistanis' hands, and that's why they'll be quite optimistic heading into the third quarter and the second half. 2 quarters of this game gone, and 1 goal that was scored, the only one which was scored by Cousins of Belgium very early on in this match. So that has been the only difference thus far in this game between the two teams. The Red Lions, as they call themselves, Belgium up against the Green Shirts, currently leading by 1-0 thanks to the goal from Cousins. Day 1, match 2 of the Hero Champions Trophy. It's a Pool A fixture where Belgium currently are leading 1-0 against Pakistan thanks to a 10th minute goal from Guy Cousins, which just encapsulated what happened in the first half. It was Belgium who had a little bit more momentum about themselves, a little bit more fluidity, and that helped them get the goal that counted. Simon Mason's still alongside me, and Simon, a terrific performance from Belgium, especially the goal.
Yeah, and the goal was just a symptom of what they've been doing during the course of this match. They've played the ball out to the flanks well, they've attacked the circle on good angles. There they just get extra support. We see this flick from Tom Bone. It was a great touch of Imran, but he made it look really, really straightforward. The pace on the flick was just exceptional. That little whip at the end, taking the ball from right to left, is what Tom Bone does so well, and Delme knows how close that was to a second goal. And it's that second goal that Belgium really, really need to take them away from Pakistan.
But the numbers don't lie at all. It has been Belgium who have been a little bit more dominant. 3 shots to 1, 8 circle penetrations to 3, and possession in opposition half has also been more for Belgium, which is not surprising at all. The only penalty corner also coming for Belgium. That's another area, Simon, where Pakistan will want to improve.
Well, there's lots of areas. They've started relatively slowly. There hasn't been that incisive, dominant play into the circle, and we see the England coaches there doing some analysis of their other pool opponents. They're on the big screen and they know that, and they'll be learning from this. But at the moment there's not a lot to learn from the Pakistan performance because it's not a consistent tactical shape of play.
That's the area just exactly opposite to where we are. Lots and lots of school children as well, which is always a positive sign. Possibly the hockey champions of tomorrow getting inspired by watching their heroes, and that's what this is all about, the Hero Champions Trophy. 6 days of exceedingly good quality hockey, 8 of the best teams in the world, and some of the best players in action at the Kalinga Stadium across these 8 days that the matches will stretch through. But Pakistan would have been enthused by the performance in the second quarter, Simon. More of the same here.
Yeah, more of the same indeed. They'll have had that break now to recharge their batteries a little bit. They had to work very hard in the first quarter to contain the Belgians, but I just think Belgians might have had a bit of a hard time in that half-time break. They've not handled the ball in all areas particularly well. Pakistan need to make sure they don't overcommit into the attack, because they'll then get punished on the counter.
And remember, the fun of this format is that irrespective of how you fare in your group matches or pool matches, you will still be in the quarterfinals. So technically, you have every chance of still finishing on top. We saw it happen in the Hero Hockey World League finals earlier. Netherlands lost their first game to Argentina, Simon, and went on to win that competition. Argentina finished 8th. So an air of unpredictability, and what's more, the next game will pit those same 2 teams against each other in this Hero Champions Trophy as well.
Yeah, well, in this quarter-final format, obviously you could suggest that, well, the pool itself is irrelevant when you get to this level. The teams are so good and so close together. But I would agree with something that one of the fantastic German players, Moritz Fürzer, said in the press, is that it's about momentum, it's about process. You're not going to get to that quarter-final playing the best hockey unless you go through the pool delivering consistently in the areas that your coaching team ask about.
Pretty sure Sheikh Shehnaz identifies that and would have G'd up his boys for a good performance in the second half. The 2 teams, of course, swapping ends, so you will soon see Pakistan in their yellow jerseys playing from left to right on your TV screens. White shots for them, and all in black at the other end. The Belgians leading by 1-0, but as Simon did point out, just a little subpar in that first half, which they'll need to improve in this second half. That is what at least their coach Jérôme Delme will want from them.
Goalkeeper's role these days, not only having to do his job between the sticks, but to sort out his players' equipment, and this is for him and this is for him. Let them get on with it.
So I was going to ask, that's a lot of gear for one man to have. Glad you clarified it was for the entire team, of course. All of that protective equipment needed when penalty corners come into the play, which hasn't happened as yet for Pakistan thus far in this match. So Pakistan, the 3 times champions, pushing us back in this third quarter. long ball that was intended for Mohammad Waqas, but still is with the Pakistanis, looking to move forward. What will help them settle down, no doubt, is an early goal if they can get that in this third quarter. This one has been played in, and for a while it was wobbling about.
Well, how Artur van Doren got his feet out of the way of that, I'll never know. His body position was completely wrong. His balance was off. He's managed to deflect it harmlessly away from danger. He carried in initially by Shafkat Rasool.
And a potential attack at the other end. It was Kjosters who had the ball to begin with and got some support as well. I'll always watch out for Tom Bone. He's spent a lot of time on the pitch and he's always been a threat. Doesn't get a lot of rest, but has those amazing levels of fitness in this team.
What's interesting with his global reputation now for Bone is that it's then the other players coming to the fore. Someone like Thomas Briels, I think, is an underrated performer across the global stage. Does some fantastic forward running, great pace, and gets in exactly the right place on far posts to just touch in the work that's been done in front of him. So Denayer can drive through the midfield and link with people in front of him as Bone makes distracting runs to draw defenders away.
This marks only their second ever appearance at the Champions Trophy, but did quite well for themselves in Melbourne 2 years ago, finishing 5th in the end. 5th was also the position that they finished in the Hockey World Cup this summer. Comparatively, Pakistan for the first time ever missing out on an appearance in the World Cup finals. That would have been a big blow for them. Also losing out on the Asian Games gold, losing in the final on penalties, or rather in a shootout to the Indians.
Great skill from Gurnard as he takes that ball right to left across his feet, just waits for the defender to commit, flips the ball up down the sideline, but is run blocked and checked by defenders in front of him.
Once again, Gurnard had the ball for a little while, but just releasing it quickly. They're looking to once again control the pace of the game. Van Doren. Good ball through, and the slap was attempted from the reverse.
What a take by Denayer as he spins around his feet, but Pakistan have it, and this is where they are so dangerous.
Indeed, and this is Mohammad Dilbar, one of their most electrifying players. He's got a good chance in, goes for the reverse, gets a deflection. Bright start from both teams in this second half. Once again moving forward. It is the captain, John Doman, does well to stay on his feet. Still moving back in. Has he found a foot? Indeed he has. It's a penalty corner, the first of the second half, and it once again goes to the Belgians.
Yeah, clever ball carrying from John Doman. A suggestion of obstruction as he put his body deliberately between the defender and the ball. But here there is no doubt as he goes to reverse the trailing foot of Mohamed Imran. He'll be crossed. That's a soft corner from a player who's just reaching to try and knock the ball back in. Doman there as he spins does really well individually, and that's just bad awareness of foot position and balance.
The oldest player in this team, also the most experienced, and he'll be disappointed, Mohammad Imran, to have given that ball away. The 35-year-old will be 36 in January, and that makes him by far the oldest man in this competition among all teams as well. Penalty corner to defend though, not quite collected cleanly.
And Briel's doing everything that he can to resurrect the situation because it was him who missed the trap in the first place. You see here, it just bobbles off the top edge of his stick as it comes out. It's just a little touch off the turf.
Pakistan now looking for a counter-offensive, a ball with a lot of weight on it and just couldn't get across to it. Waqas was the one who was closest.
Yeah, right decision making from Rasool. Just pops the ball through the feet round there, but unfortunately Waqas not quite quick enough to get around the back.
Perhaps just starting a little slowly as well. He'd been anticipating that, could have opened up an opportunity, but in the first 5 minutes or so of this third quarter we have seen some good open play from both teams, suggesting that they might just be able to throw caution to the wind, and we might see a little bit more action in the second half. More goals, that's what we want, and that's what I'm sure both teams want as well. Especially Pakistan, they would want a lot of goals here. Tausik getting some support. Now looking to move forward once again is Waqas. Constant presence on the right flank. Oh, this could be an opportunity here, and it is Ali Shan who gets a shot but gets a deflection as well.
As Ali Shah gets the ball on towards the goal, it comes off the foot of the Belgian defender. Absolutely no question about it. It's a lovely slider ball in, and it's the first time touch from Rasool across. And there, as we see, Ali Shah goes for the shot, pulls it back onto the foot. So Pakistan with their first chance from the head of the circle.
And who knows, if they can score here, it might just kickstart this match for them in the sense of gaining the ascendancy. It's been a slightly more nervy Belgian defending effort thus far in this second half. And that's what Pakistan must look to exploit completely. Get this goal back in, and they are right back in this game.
Now Pakistan going to two castles, two shooting options.
Looking to work, a nice variation. The spin around was done, and after that the shot came in from Dilbar.
Again, there's a suggestion here. Andrew Kennedy looked across to Paco Vasquez, because there is a chat, there's a conversation there. It's hit the lineman. The feeling from Kennedy is that it's hit his stick down onto his foot and it wasn't going at goal, which is why it's a corner. But the umpires have conferred and they perceive that it is a penalty stroke. Belgium, are they going to go to referral to double check with the angles? So we've got a spin routine, great routine, flick across the postman. If that's hit body, I would agree it's a penalty stroke, but if it's hit stick to foot, we need to see it. I'm not sure we can see it even slower than that. You'd have to do some kind of super slow-mo to really see what it's come off, but there is no appeal going to video.
Well, this will be Pakistan's opportunity to come back into this match. The penalty stroke will be taken by the captain, Mohammad Imran. And most of these situations tend to be loaded in favor of the man going for the stroke. But Vincent van Asch is a fantastic goalkeeper, and he will fancy his chances. If he can guess right and if he can anticipate it well, then the 26-year-old could well save his team. But this is a goal from Imran. It's the one that they were looking for, because it has brought them back on level terms, and it's their captain, the most experienced player, who gets the goal.
Makes it look so easy, just dummies to the right side, goalkeeper's right side, opens up his wrists and fires it into the bottom attacking right corner. Couldn't have been much closer to the post for Nash, having committed to his right with absolutely no chance. Now, what have Belgium got up their sleeves? They've certainly had the lion's share of possession in some key areas, but, as we talked about early on, one chance, Pakistan back into it. They're quite capable of these bits of individual flair or one set piece.
Absolutely, I would imagine just their second shot perhaps, and that has been translated into a goal. So shows you that if you play good percentage hockey, that can come in handy for you. Bocard. Now Belgium once again with all to do in case they want to get those 3 points out of this match. Tombone, who had taken a little bit of a break a while ago, he is back in the middle, and he's perhaps the man that they will look to now.
And with this four-quarter format, it does mean that you can have target men a little bit more than when we were just playing 2 35-minute halves. Physical intensity is still there, however, because you get that 2-minute break, it means that you can leave players in for slightly longer and play them slightly more within those quarters, because the heart rate doesn't rise, the body temperature doesn't get quite as high, so they can play more of a part. You would have normally seen fairly even rotations across forward lines in other competitions.
Pakistan just playing with a little bit more confidence at the moment, and it is Belgium who will have to just get things together now in this third quarter. What was perhaps true of Pakistan in the first half is now true of Belgium in this second half thus far. Just lacking somewhat in coordination between the midfield and the forward line, not getting enough quality balls through.
Oh, what a pass! What an unbelievable pass. Bones suggesting that it's come off the goalkeeper. I think it's actually he's deflected that wide. Imran but may suggest he had it covered, but this is brilliant from Bokar. Takes all the pace off it. And I think Bones just put that into the front boards, but completely unmarked. But if you look at how he's leading, really difficult to get that ball on goal unless he himself had been 2 or 3 metres further across the goal mouth.
That is the danger that the Pakistan defence must watch out for. There will be those balls coming through, and they will have to be aware, fully aware of Tom Bone's positioning at all times. He's also got that ability, if he gets to the ball, then he will control it and make the goalkeeper work hard if he has to save it. On that occasion, of course, as Simon pointed out, just squirting it wide.
The other thing the goalkeeper can do is support that defender by recognising the situation in front of him. Whilst potentially the near post was covered, if goalkeeper Imran Butt had seen Tom Bone leading behind that last defender and actually stepped out more aggressively, if the shot had been on goal, it would have hit him and the save would actually have been a lot simpler. He just needs to be aggressive in his own right.
That is a beautiful pass down the left side, looking for the run of Gurnyan. Well-deserved rest again for Tom Bone.
And earlier on in the game we talked about Pakistan wasting opportunities down the left flank by crashing balls across on the reverse stick, whereas the Belgian team were getting their feet round, delivering across the circle with a little bit more precision. The reverse has now happened. Belgium are crashing balls in from angles. They need to try and get the ball in midfield and then offer the outside pass. Forward leads outside and then cut into the head of the D to try and create some more meaningful opportunities in attack. Now that's been given because it's been perceived that Dorian Thierry has gone to ground deliberately to make the tackle. If that's hit a body, then yes, it's a penalty corner. So we perceive, so Paco Vasquez has blown that, perceiving that it's dangerous. The defender's gone to ground, it's hit him, and it's a deliberate foul in the 25.
We still haven't seen any referral.
So here, there, defender going to ground. I would agree with Paco Vasquez, absolutely. Dorian Thierry's gone onto the ground, he's let the ball hit his body, broken up play.
And that is exactly why there has been no referral, because John Doman, even though he had a few words, but he knew that somewhere or the other his teammate had just made a mistake there. Oh, this was slipped through. Not much pace on it and not much accuracy, unfortunately, either from Imran.
Well, that was a ball fired for a tip-in off the goalkeeper's right hand, the attacking left-hand post out to the top. It's into the hook of Imran's stick. It's from that position that he's dribbled. And you look on the penalty spot there, look at that body position. Action probably 6 inches away from a great tip-in. Good Belgian defence to block that space.
A much improved Pakistan performance then in this third quarter. Can they sustain it and can they get a second goal? That will make things really interesting for the fourth quarter. We could have an absolute grandstand finish, not unlike what we got in the first game between England and Australia. Now this time a crucial interception in the middle. Oh, just cannot keep it in play.
Correa unable to actually keep the ball down that right-hand side. It was played behind him in the first instance, which was difficult for him to pick. What will be interesting is Belgian patience. We see that they've still got that extra possession and it's in dangerous areas, but if they get frustrated and start to overcommit, that's when Pakistan will unpick them, because the Pakistan forward line will not all run back to a man. You see from the European teams attacking as 10, defending as 10, or playing with a back 4 and a rotating midfield and forward 6. Pakistan will lead forwards high to create opportunities, and that's where the counter-attack danger is against Belgium.
Also 3 shots from 5 circle penetrations, not bad at all in terms of just making their possession count when they get into the opposition half. That's Pakistan for you, and if they can sustain that, then they could be quite dangerous in the remaining time in this match. About 4 minutes, little less than 4 minutes in this particular quarter, and then 15 more minutes in the fourth. Just the second game of day one. This will be followed by the first fixture from Pool B. That will be played at 5:30 local time. That's just about noon GMT between Netherlands and Argentina. Doman there almost finding the ball through for Van Obel, but it is Pakistan who move away with the ball yet again.
That is, from an international player, that's something close to awful in terms of skill execution. Shafqat Rasool has seen where he's gone. He's actually accelerated past Arthur van Duren to create the angle. Here, great passing line in, but there's nobody there. That needed to just be pulled under the arm. More left hand, less right hand. Pull it under the arm to the head of the D where he had support play.
Once again dropping deep to defend now the Pakistanis, all of them in their own side of the pitch, trying to make things difficult, and it works out in the end because they once again have possession. This is Zohaib. Good steal.
That's great skill.
Oh, that's brilliantly done.
That's an awful bit of goalkeeping. However, it's a simple finish in the end for Briels, but it was all about Tom Bone. We'll see in a minute how his skills brought the ball forwards as he drives through. This pick now here. Watch it go right to left and diddle dink there. That is exceptional. And again under his arm. Briels flips past Imran Butt, whose left hand should have been bigger and stronger. But the run from Bone, he goes left, right, dink there. That is beautiful execution under the arm pass, and that should have been meat and drink to an international goalkeeper. Pakistan will feel a little bit aggrieved by the fact their goalie didn't step out more positively to stop Briels, who's finished, as we talked about before, a great piece of approach work from a teammate.
Yes, the goal will be credited to Thomas Briels, but really, by all accounts, this was Tom Bone's contribution just as much as the finish, and also some sloppy goalkeeping right at the end. More than anything else, just a lack of confidence, which was quite visible. Yet again, well struck and getting a touch onto it, just not able to get it goalwards. But this is much better from Belgium. This is what you expect from the Red Lions. Just getting a touch, but not able to get it goalwards. Well, one quarter still to come, but you just get the impression, Simon, the way the momentum was building up, this goal has come at the wrong time. I suppose there is no right time to concede a goal, but Pakistan will feel a little deflated after that.
Yeah, they will, but they've proved that they can come back. So as long as they finish this quarter strongly at 2-1, they'll feel they have a chance. If they were to concede again, which they will obviously hope to close out this 15-minute phase, then all will be fine. They can just reevaluate, have a quick break, and step into that last 15, looking to create just one more chance, one more corner, and all of a sudden they're right back in this game.
A little bit of skill attempted by Umar, the man who skippered the team, the junior team at the Junior Hockey World Cup last December. There have been some good individual performances, but as a collective unit, Pakistan has just played well in patches, and that's something that Sheikh Shahnaz, the coach, will obviously point out to them for the last 15 minutes. One final effort, and that could carry them across the line. But at the moment, they'll need to defend yet again. This time, Imran Butt wasn't called upon. Exceptional bit of defending just to finish off the third quarter. It has been a much better performance from both teams. Pakistan getting an equalizer, but Belgium going ahead once again at the end of 3 quarters in this match. It is Belgium who lead 2-1. Belgian coach Jeroen Delmy will be quite pleased with the way that his team have got that goal. It wasn't perhaps so much down to the individual skills of the finisher, but some excellent work before that from Tom Bone. And that's what fetched them their second goal of this Hero Hockey Champions Trophy. And looking for their first victory against Pakistan in this particular tournament, losing out 2-0 back in 2012. Of course, in 2012, Pakistan's Shakil Abbasi was also player of the tournament. He's not been picked for this particular event. And with some of the younger players here, Pakistan will be looking for a good comeback in the fourth quarter. If they can get that, then we will be set up for a great finish to this match. Pakistan have made one comeback into this match, and it came as a result of a penalty stroke. And Simon, it seemed at that stage that the team might just make a comeback, which they might well. Yes.
Yeah, we've got a spin from the penalty corner routine, and it comes through to the second choice flicker, and we've got a touch from the man on the line. Very difficult. Originally, Andrew Kennedy had blown for the corner, upgraded to a stroke on consultation with his colleague, and it's a very, very well taken penalty stroke. And whilst there's a fist pump there, I think there's a sigh of relief from Imran that it actually went in rather than hit the post.
Of course, Belgium have had their share of chances as well, particularly in the first half. The second quarter, there was that penalty corner which was nearly swept in by Tom Bone, but for an excellent bit of work from Imran Butt. However, the Pakistan goalie not quite up to scratch when the second goal was scored. Very well converted by Thomas Brailes. That has given the advantage to the Belgians. It's Pakistan who pushes back for the last 15 minutes in this match. The second match of day one, the first game for these two teams in Pool A in the Hero Champions Trophy 2014 at Bhubaneswar's Kalinga Stadium.
Pakistan in that situation need to recycle as they have. If they can find Imran there, all of a sudden there's some great long ball possibilities because the angles change. If you just force a static ball into the circle, the defenders can step up. But if you can just go lateral once, even just 5 meters, you change the lines of pass.
Here come Belgium once again. It's Tom Bone who's picked it up inside the D, looking to get some control, but he was hassled all the way, harried all the way, and in the end just had to be content with the long corner.
Tom Bone trying to execute a high press all on his own. The midfielder dropped away, but he was just trying to slow play down. Professional in his approach, so stepping initially within that 5 meter zone, making Paco Vasquez tell him to back away. It just slows play down.
It was a great interception, and it's been picked up as well by John Doman. He's done well to still retain possession, looking to get into the box, still bouncing about there.
John Doman feeling a little bit, really didn't get a penalty corner out of that. He'd been stick checked initially as he came through the 25, drove around the baseline easily, and the ball back into the circle, came up for Pakistani stick. He perceived it was dangerous, but the umpire had a different opinion.
It was a sublime midfield interception from Sebastian Dokier, and that's somewhere in terms of midfield where one could say that Belgium have probably dominated this game. They have dominated possession. That's probably a reflection of the way that their midfield has performed just a little bit better than Pakistan's. Position once again for the Belgians. Well, Simon, a little bit early, still just into the second game of this new format of 4 quarters of 15 minutes each. Your thoughts on how you think it might impact the number of goals per game?
Yeah, you can only suggest that positively it means that there's a higher intensity possible. As Gunnar gets a shot away in the circle. Negatively, you could suggest it will break players' play momentum down and therefore actually reduce the number of goals. And I think it's too early to really make that judgment. Essentially, the playing time is exactly the same. It was analysed in depth before the decision was made to go to these 4 quarters, because we now have that pause of play for penalty corners and goals, so we're not losing any. There's no wasted time there. So I think the positives will outweigh the negatives.
Yes, just doing some number crunching for the previous few editions of the Champions Trophy. The goals per game average has been dipping steadily. That's perhaps a reflection of the fact that teams have sorted themselves out, or their opponents out, a little bit more than they used to. With the amount of games being played, the Hero or the Hockey World League rather being played around the year as well. A lot more familiarity, teams playing in the HIL as well. So lots and lots of secrets out in the open, so to speak.
No, I just think it's because the goalkeepers are brilliant.
I thought you might say that, but of course we have seen some excellent goalkeeping. Not so much today from Imran Butt in terms of the goal that he conceded, but he has, it must be remembered, kept Pakistan in the game with a couple of fantastic saves otherwise. Oh, this has been sent in. Could be an opportunity. Oh.
Well, it's crowded mid-circle defence that means that Pakistan escape further unscathed. The ball's being... Belgium are getting the ball now into more dangerous positions, and they're cleverly just reducing the pace on the balls crashed into the D. So it's not just a random smash, it's a controlled delivery, and they are getting returns from it.
Yes, and even when Pakistan do get possession like they did here, there was no target man to pass to, because all of them have fallen behind to defend. And in the end, Waqas did well to actually retain possession for as long as he did. Extracted a free hit.
Yeah, and Bocard's got a yellow card. Andrew Kennedy, the umpire, perceiving that he contacted with Waqas as he ran down that right-hand side. Bocard deliberately obstructing the line of the attacker. Brave bit of last-ditch defending in the circle for Florian Thierry.
In spite of conceding a temporary man advantage, it's Belgium who were on the attack for a while, but still back with Pakistan possession. Here comes Butt. Confirmation of the yellow card for Gautier Bocard, and this was the tackle.
Van Orgel now orchestrating balls through the midfield, but a moment ago was looking very laboured. He supported an attack and looked like he was struggling getting back, and the conditions out there, whilst not the blazing sun we've seen on earlier days here as the tournament build-up has progressed, it's certainly going to be hot, and the water coming out, the moisture coming out of the pitch increases the humidity on that playing surface, really makes it difficult to get enough oxygen in to recover.
Dupai, and it's always going to be a challenge for the European teams. One would imagine in these conditions it'll probably be the two Asian teams, India and Pakistan, and the teams from the southern hemisphere, because they would have come in from situations which aren't too dissimilar to what it is at Bhubaneswar. And what's important is how the European teams are able to cope. Of course, England getting off to the perfect start, and it looks like currently, with the scoreline as it is, Belgium also might bag the 3 points, but never too late in this game.
Now, Andrew Kennedy has stopped the clock down beneath us, talking in the middle of the circle there and restarting play. Felt that there was some kind of contact between defenders.
Over there.
There was some umpire communication.
Okay.
Here's another chance, slipping this one through, but just unable to bring it under control. Ali Shan, who's been a lively presence, has picked up a few good passes, but not been able to make the most of them.
Yeah, I'd agree with the first part of what you said. Ali Shan's been a lively presence, but that run he's done 3 times now, even just within this quarter, and has not made that reverse stick trap. And I feel the coach is going to... Well, he'll ask questions about it. There's nothing you can do at this point. You've either got the skills or you haven't. And relatively, if the experience of the player or the situation is taking away from his skill execution, that can be addressed. but he has got himself in the right place. He's just failed to trap.
What's interesting is both teams in terms of just average age. It's Belgium who have an average age of about 24, the entire squad. Pakistan just 23. But the Belgians have a lot more experience, more than 100 caps on an average per player. That's that big match temperament that Simon talked about right at the start of the game, and that has proved perhaps expensive in the end for Pakistan. And they make one last-ditch effort here. It's Zohaib. Still about 6 minutes to go. So time for some drama. If they can get one goal here, Simon, then it could be thrown open completely this game once again.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting to then see if that was to happen, to see what the coach Delmay would do. To be honest, and what the Pakistani coach would do. Would they start to put real emphasis on the actual result in this game? We've talked about it before. It's a pool situation. All the teams here are really strong. Do you perceive an opponent in the quarterfinals could be weaker? But there's still 2 more pool games to go in very challenging physical conditions at the top level of the sport. Do you waste that energy, or do you actually just compose yourselves and take the point?
The card given there to Mohammad Tawseeq, which is not great news for Pakistan, just as they were looking to establish a little bit of control.
Well, that's just an aggressive tackle here as Tawseeq comes. He's missed the ball by about 20 centimetres. There's 2 potential tackles in there. The one before it wasn't pretty either. And that's what happens as you get tired. You only have to be a metre out of position, half a metre out of position, and the balance of your body shifts, and all of a sudden the tackle, rather than being controlled, becomes a reaching lunge, and that's when you just clatter the opponent's stick and the umpires will give cards.
Arthur Van Doren. Partnership right in the centre of defence has been quite critical for Belgium. Made sure that every time Pakistan have got any sort of momentum, it's Belgium who retain possession of the ball, try and keep control as they're doing here, passing it around among themselves and looking to move forward in bits and pieces.
Brills knew what he wanted to do, but just failed to do it early enough. As a player, you make a decision, but once you go inside that sort of metre-and-a-half contact zone of your opponent, they can start to get touches, be it lucky or be it really skill-based. You need to be making those passes before you get into that contact zone.
That's Mohammad Tawseeq's second little fling with the sin bin. He's already been green carded earlier in the match. It's just been a little bit naughty on a couple of occasions.
Well, if you were wondering how you can get 2 green cards, you can get 2 green cards if that is the case for different offences. Unusual, but it is absolutely allowed to get them for specific different offences. Assume if that's the case, then the umpires must have perceived that it's a different foul.
Well, Belgium, of course, have all 10 outfield players at the moment, so they have that advantage as well. And they have, of course, the advantage in terms of the scoreline. Pakistan looking for that elusive equalizer if they can find it. But Belgium will do well here to retain as much possession, and that's probably what you'll see happen.
Well done. Commentator's curse as Pakistan steal it in midfield and look like they're going to counter-attack.
Here comes John Doman. Not had as much of an influence as he normally does in the midfield, but he has been quite solid on a few occasions. Especially moving forward has looked very dangerous. Aging legs. Mohammad Imran just a little feeling a little bit of a niggle at the end of that, although the tackle was across on the left. Thomas Brills, the man who got the goal, the second goal in this game for the Belgians, and Mohammad Imran is down there. He was the goal scorer for Pakistan, but at the moment just feeling a little bit of a twinge. cramps perhaps. Not great news for a Pakistan team which is anyway short on experience, for their most experienced player to be down.
No, and as you say, when you do get to slightly more advanced age, muscles tighten up slightly. And what he will also, however, recognise is that this is the early stages of a tournament, and he doesn't need to push himself to breaking point, albeit the team is losing. If this was the final, I think you'd see him do something different with just under 3 minutes to go.
So Pakistan without their designated captain, can they find that equalizer and split honours, or perhaps even look to go for a win? But here is Briels. He's so good at fetching these balls, and he's done exceedingly well to get all the way, and it's a penalty corner. Another chance now for Belgium.
And as we were critical with a dive earlier on in this game, that was anything but. Briels has picked that in midfield, driven, cut left to right, and as he pops the ball over the defender's stick, we see here Thomas Briels steps in, takes it himself, great turn off his toes. Look at this little pop, dink, reverse stick over the top, the contact drawing the foul. Absolutely nothing that Irfan could do in that contact, and Briels winning the corner.
Done to perfection, and what this match has probably lacked thus far is a Tom Bone goal, and
we're not going to have one now because he's not.
Yes, he's not on the pitch. So if this has to be a third goal for Belgium, it'll have to be somebody else. Cousins is in there, as is Lupai. Lupai is the near battery.
Pakistan down to a three-man defence now, breaking the line. That's just inexperience showing in terms of running. Reaction straight away from Abbas as he ran away from the goal line. But he went on the whistle rather than on the injection, so Pakistan have been penalised and are down to three-man defensive team plus the keeper.
Possibly his second favourites here. Oh, it's not a clean stop at all.
Danea didn't recognise that they had the numerical overload. All they had to do was he just had to take that down on his forehand, and they had 7-on-3 into the circle. Just didn't choose to do anything particularly quickly.
However, what this spell of pressure is doing is counting down valuable time for the Pakistanis. Whatever little chances they would have had of getting that equalizer, evaporating steadily but surely. And they make the most of this possession here.
Well, Tanguy Cousins was trying to put the defence under pressure and just accelerate from the free hit. Pakistani defenders needing to get away from him so they don't infringe on that 5-yard zone. Great bit of skills from Briels, taking the ball to the air again.
Down for the count at the moment is Ahmad.
Suggesting there that he's been hit, not on that blue gloved left hand, but on the right hand. Van Orbel looking to just roll the clock down. He's gone to the corner. There's no need to do anything difficult. If he was to turn over possession, all of a sudden his coach would do his nut, to put a technical phrase on it. He's just looking to hold the ball in those corners. Pakistan come back to 11. We saw the back of Tusik running back into play after his green card is finished.
Just not enough time, I'm afraid. Can he make an impact in these 30 seconds? And it's with Belgian possession. They'll make sure that this ball doesn't get a sniff of an opportunity for the Pakistanis. Arthur Van Doren making sure that these 3 points will be theirs. The Red Lions seemingly getting their Hero Champions Trophy campaign off to a winning start. A little bit fortuitous, especially the second goal that they got, but it's the result that counts, especially in these early pool stages. The Belgium with good goals from Cousins in the first half, and then in the second half it was a winner which came all the way from Thomas Briels, which fetches them the 3 points that count. Quite happy with his Ward's performances. Jérôme Delmay with his first match effectively as Belgian coach in the Hero Champions Trophy. Good performance overall. Pakistan, of course, did get that one goal back through the penalty stroke, but one wonders what will happen of Mohammad Imran in terms of his fitness levels. We saw him cramp up right towards the last 3 or 4 minutes of this game. And the big question will be that would he be free or would he be fit rather for tomorrow's game when Pakistan play their second pool encounter. The first match, slightly disappointing. Belgium draw their first blood and also get their first victory in the Champions Trophy against Pakistan in only their second encounter against the 3 times champions. Good performance from Belgium. Full-time score, Belgium 2, Pakistan 1. Good performance, fluent performance, not perhaps at their best, Belgium, Simon, but it's the result which will count for the moment.
Yeah, and I think as we look at some of the highlights, this is where Gunnar gets his feet round and fires it across the circle, and it's a tap-in on the far side. That's one of the highlights of their game, obviously, and they didn't really hit their stride at any point, and one feels that if they were faced with a little more pressure, they would have done so. A beautiful spin corner executed from a slip flick position. Penalty stroke coming from it. Andrew Kennedy initially giving a corner, but then upgrading to a stroke, which Captain Irfan slotted away. Sorry, Imran slotted away, and then Tom Bone. What a great bit of skill. Brills, it wasn't on a plate for him, he had to do something. The goalkeeper helping him out by deciding that he wouldn't get a big left glove in the way.
And he'll feel miserable because that in the end proved to be the difference between the two teams. The only goal which separated Belgium and Pakistan on the afternoon. Belgium, of course, with the better numbers, not surprising at all. 16 circle penetrations to 5, much more possession. And of course, Pakistan with those 2 green cards, both for Mohammad Tawseeq and a yellow card for Belgium as well. More penalty corners for Belgium, and that's also reflective of the fact that they had more useful possession in the opposition half. 5 shots to 3, 2 goals to 1, the most important statistic right on top of that. Also, a quick reminder, you can connect with us on social media. We are on Facebook at FI Hockey and on Twitter at FIH_hockey. Hashtag it with CT2014, and also you can hashtag it with best of the best, because that is what is on offer here at the Hero Champions Trophy in Kalinga Stadium, Bhubaneswar. The sun just beginning to set here at the Kalinga Stadium in Bhubaneswar, but a terrific performance in the end from Belgium. Let's go down pitch side where Michael Absalom is ready with the presentation.
Well, what a game that was, and welcome along to the Hero Man of the Match presentation. Alongside me, I have Ken Reid, an FIH representative, and what a fantastic game that was played out between Belgium and Pakistan. Your Man of the Match, Thomas Briels. Congratulations. Picks up a cheque for 25,000 rupees and a nice little trophy along to go away. Thanks very much, Ken. Thomas, great start to your Champions Trophy campaign.
Yeah, it was a really difficult match against Pakistan, to a hard battle in the middle of the day. So it was really tough physically, but I think it was really good team performance, and yeah, we didn't give much away, and we created some chances for our own, and we just put enough in to win it.
Your goal came at a very important time in the game. Talk us through it, and you had it all to do at the end still to slot it home past the keeper.
Yeah, it was a really nice action of Tom Bone, who passed his defender, and then he saw me free at the right of him, and yeah, I want to fake it long corner and then go short corner. I missed a little bit my ball, and it just went in over his hand, so got a little bit lucky there, but yeah, it was I think good goal, but especially a good game from the team.
Now, you've set out your intentions. What are they as a team here collectively at the Champions Trophy 2014?
I think we come with a really strong team, and we want to perform every game. We want to win every game, and we want to improve especially. And we hope to do so in winning every game. So yeah, still a long way to go.
Okay, well, a winning start. Congratulations. You're back in action tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
Yes, thank you, Mike. This is how things stand at Pool A in the Hero Champions Trophy. England, of course, leading because of their 3-1 victory. Couple of fantastic goals from Sam Ward on debut for England. So that'll enthuse him a lot. Belgium also getting on the board with those 3 points. Pakistan just losing out, and Pakistan followed by Australia, the 5 times defending champions. These have been the matches played thus far. England beating Australia, Belgium beating Pakistan. 2 more games to go at 5:30 p.m. local time. It's Netherlands against Argentina, the first game of Pool B. And that will be followed 2 hours later by Germany against India, which should be another lip-smacking encounter on the first day of this Hero Champions Trophy. And Belgium, of course, getting off to a winning start, but still a lot of hockey to be played, not only in this pool, but also the other one, which we'll see a glimpse of in just a little under 2 hours from now. And make sure that you do join us for that one, because Netherlands, Argentina, both mercurial teams. Netherlands, of course, with that little bit more pedigree, but Argentina capable of playing a good game on their day. And that is what one would expect from them on this opening day of the FIH Hero Champions Trophy 2014. Good crowds as well, and that has been a huge positive, and we'll expect that in the remaining games as well. So Netherlands versus Argentina in just a little less than 2 hours. Join us for that then.